So I'm meeting this incredible lady who was living abroad and she relocated to Kenya.
I have a piece in Africa that I do not have a home. When I Googled Nairobi, I was like, this looks nice. Like, let's go to Nairobi.
Oh, wow. Hey guys, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. I am at Chaya Center. I am super excited about this meetup. Come with me. So I'm meeting this incredible lady who was living abroad and she relocated to Kenya, and I'm just going to be talking to her about her journey, her story. Super excited. Stay tuned in to find out who it is. So I guess today we are meeting at Sierra Wine Bar and Grill. This is what it looks like. Oh, nice.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good.
Oh, sorry, I had to come film you.
No, I love it. Hello.
Nice to meet you.
It's
Finally.
nice to meet you.
You look so
Seriously,
good.
I'm Brittany.
Hey guys, so I am finally sitting with the person I told you I was coming to meet, Brittany.
Hello. Hi, you guys.
I'm so happy to have you on my channel.
I'm happy to be on your channel, girl.
I love your energy. You've got so much energy.
Thank you.
So tell us about you. Who is Brittany?
Hello, my name is Brittany Caldwell. I am an African American. I grew up in Washington, D.C. I moved to Atlanta and I was a public school teacher.
In Atlanta?
In Atlanta.
Okay.
I went to Howard University.
Whoa, way. Okay.
I'm a bison girl.
Oh, wow.
I've been to a lot. I have a lot of degrees. So I have a undergraduate in African Diaspora and U.S. history. And then I got my master's in teaching social studies to like high schoolers, basically. And then I got it's like halfway. I'm halfway to a doctorate degree.
Oh, wow.
In curriculum and instruction, which is like just teaching people anything, kind of. So most of my life I've been an educator. And that's what brought me out to Kenya. So I did used to like stay in Ghana.
Oh, so you're staying most of your life. So how old are you?
I'm 30. I just turned 30.
Ah, okay. So let's go slowly. You are American.
I'm Black American.
Okay. And you have so many degrees. You have so much going for yourself.
Yeah.
Why even on YouTube?
Passion and what you like to do. My personality does not make me a good employee, I've realized. So as much as like I like being a teacher, there's a box that people put teachers in, unfortunately. So like when you look at teachers, especially in Africa, I think when you look at teachers, they want like this angel or like this really like
good example.
Yeah, teachers can't do this. Teachers shouldn't do that. So that's the problem that I've run into with becoming a school teacher. So I'm hoping to like teach through YouTube.
Oh, wow. That's amazing.
Yeah, that's my ultimate goal.
So are you born and raised in the States?
Yeah, I was born and raised in the States. None of my family has ever come to Africa before I moved here.
Oh, wow.
No one has, like, I don't even really have friends who are Black American and really, like, I don't want to say cared about Africa, but no one was just like me and my sister have traveled so much before I started visiting Africa. We've been to like Bali, Mexico, Costa Rica, Thailand, Hong Kong, London, most of the Caribbean islands. But we never visited Africa together.
Okay. Before I ask you why, let me know, how is it growing up in the States?
Growing up in the States, I will say that my experience is a little different than most average Black Americans, only because I come from a family who is pretty financially stable. I grew up in like a very diverse neighborhood, like
where is that?
in Washington, D.C.
Okay.
So there's a lot of issues that Black Americans deal with in the United States. I have been blessed to not have to deal with. So even like going to Howard, it's a very expensive school.
Yeah. Oh, wow. We know about that school.
Yeah, it's expensive.
And it's one of the best in the whole world.
Yeah, it is. It's a really good school.
So you must have been a bright student.
Yeah, I love school.
Oh, wow.
I do.
Not
I love
many
learning.
people say that.
I love learning. So my experience has not been as bad, I can say, as some Black Americans. But one thing that made me realize how unfair America is towards Black Americans was when I moved to Atlanta. Because I started teaching kids in like poor schools, kids who grew up like in the hood, and seeing the disadvantages that they had just because they were Black and didn't have money. That's what kind of sparked like my anger with the way that African Americans were treated in the United States. Up until then, until I moved to Atlanta, I didn't really see these disparities as close because your parents like try to shelter you a little, you know. So
you moved to LA and you're teaching, and that's where it actually hits you that that it's not as easy to live in America as a Black person compared to as a white person.
Yeah.
Okay.
White people in America are more likely to have houses passed down from their parents. They are more likely to get loans. There's been cases in America to where a white person and a Black person with the same qualifications, credit score, job can apply for a loan, and the Black person can get denied and the white person may not. I don't want to say all white people because there are a vast amount of poorer white people in the United States, but I mean, life is really a lot easier. In the United States, Black men are 6 times more likely to go to jail as white people for the same crime.
Wow.
Colorism is a big thing. Even as a dark-skinned female, say I went to jail for the same crime that a light-skinned female committed, just because of white supremacy and colorism, she is more likely to get less time than me. So these are just like facts that are proven. And it's really, really sad. Even when you look at the news recently, like that white guy who shot and killed a whole store of people in Buffalo.
Was just arrested.
They label him as mentally ill.
Wow.
Right? Oh, this white man who just made this bad decision almost, versus like Black people who may not even really be committing crimes or like automatically like
that's crazy.
Labeled negatively.
It's so sad. Do you think that will ever change?
In the United States? Not in my lifetime. I think it'll be generations. Because white supremacy is so deeply rooted. So we were enslaved for almost 250 years, you know? It does not take... I think Black people... Slavery ended officially in 1865. No, maybe like 1865 or 1866. Slavery became illegal. That's not even 200 years ago. Do you know what I'm saying? So I think that
it's going to take some time.
It's going to take so much time. I'll never see it in my lifetime.
Okay. So then you're American. What makes you decide you want to come to Africa?
Well, I got a Ghanaian boyfriend, and he was like, we went to Jamaica on vacation.
So the Ghanaian boyfriend was living in the U.S.?
Yeah, he lived in Atlanta. Okay. So I've always kind of been like attracted to African men. So
Why though?
I don't know. Like, I like the foreign aspect. I like to learn, like I told you. So like, I like someone who can teach me a different culture, or like they have a different language. Like that intrigues me. So even like my first boyfriend was Nigerian, my first boyfriend ever. He was Nigerian, and I just thought it was like so beautiful. I found so much beauty like in his mom, the way she dressed, and like his name was Oluwabunkumi.
Oh wow.
So I'm like, wow, like you're not Tyrone. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it was just really interesting to me that like we look the same, but we have 2 completely different lives. So I was just really like intrigued. So I've always kind of like gravitated towards African.
So what you're saying is you prefer African men?
Yeah, I do. I love African American men too, but I just like I said, I like something new. Okay. Something different.
So what made you decide to come to Africa? Was he coming to Africa and you decided?
He was coming, yeah, and he was like, you know, do you want to come with me to Ghana? And I was like, hell yeah. And then my family was like, girl.
Talking about family, what are some of the things you heard about Africa before you came to Africa that scared you?
Like, don't go if you don't know anybody. Just pictures of, you know how it's portrayed. It's recently changing because of social media. Like DeVito and stuff. But like back then, the first time I came was 2016. So it was like, I didn't really know too much. But I can say when I landed in Ghana and my boyfriend's friend picked us up in a Mercedes, I was like, oh my God, they have Mercedes. I was like, wow, interesting. And then like we went to the club and they were bringing out bottles and I was like, oh my, I was sending pictures to my family because I'm like, y'all won't believe.
So they didn't think we have those things in Africa? Or
no.
What? Oh, wow.
No, to be honest with you. Even me as an African diaspora major, and that's what I realized, I did not really learn the full picture of Africa, honestly. Major cities like Nairobi, I never really saw pictures of. I was even shocked coming to Nairobi, but we'll talk about that later. I get to Ghana, and it was just a vibe. So ever since then, he had brought me to Ghana. I've been to Ghana about 4 different occasions.
Oh, wow. So what do you think of Ghana? What was your first impression?
I fell in love with Ghana. I love Ghana, the food, the people. At one point, I didn't even want to go home.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Every time I went home, I was just like, oh my God, America's the ghetto. Like, I can't. Like, I just don't want to live like this. Like, I was just ready to go back to Ghana. So I spent the most time in Ghana during COVID.
Oh.
My job as a teacher for public school, they went online. So my boyfriend was like, why don't we just go to Accra instead of sitting here in Atlanta? So we went to Accra and I started like, I found this school because you know how when you're with your man and he's like Ghanaian, maybe you're in Accra and you're like, damn, I don't really have anything to do. You're a vlogger though. You're a YouTuber, so it's a little different. But I felt like I just didn't really have much to do. Otherwise teaching my kids, which was later in the day because of the time change. You know what I'm saying? So from like morning time to like 2 o'clock, I would have nothing to do. And he's like out with friends running errands. So I was like, I'm going to go visit this school. So I went to go visit this school and saw that they had like nothing. It was like the worst school I've ever seen in my life, which was so funny because remember I told you like the schools in Atlanta, I was angry because they were bad schools. Like this school was so bad. So I was just like, damn, like, and I just started fundraising for them and helping them to finish building their school.
When you say that, you make me wonder, after being in Africa for some time, did you realize or did it hit you that guys in America actually have it really good?
Yeah.
Like, compared to...
Yeah. What I used to complain about as a teacher in America, like I used to be like, oh my God, like old computers. Ugh. Like, or like, ugh, these textbooks are so old. Like, we need the newer model. Like, oh, my kids don't have iPads. My classroom is dirty. Like, but at least we had a ceiling. Do you know what I'm saying? So that's what I learned when I came here. Like, there's kids who are learning in Ghana under a tree. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah, sharing one textbook that is so old. So it made me like reevaluate even what I complained about as a teacher. Because these kids did not have one computer in the building. And my kids all have their own laptops, but they're old. Or like the textbooks were old, but they didn't even have textbooks. So it like put me into perspective. But what was so interesting is that the kids in Ghana were smarter. Oh wow. With less resources. Oh. Swear to God. Swear to God, they were smarter. So I was like, this is fucked up. I was like, they make us think you need these things for kids to learn, but you actually don't. They just need to learn. So yeah, I made a GoFundMe and told everyone, I showed them pictures and was just like, I'm out here in Ghana. I'm trying to help this school. Like, let's do it. And I was so shocked at how many of my friends and family and strangers sent money. Oh, wow. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay, so after how long did you teach in Ghana, and after how long did you decide to move from Ghana to Kenya?
I was looking for a job in Ghana, but I could not find a good job. Because I am American and I have American bills, I can't like teach at a local school. Like I need money, and these African schools do not play when it comes to teachers. So I was just like, I actually got offered a job in Nairobi.
How did that happen?
I was applying to just like this big international teaching firm, and then different schools will reach out to you. So the one in Nairobi, I got a job offer in Nairobi and in Mozambique. And I chose Nairobi. I had never been to Kenya, ever.
What made you choose Kenya over Mozambique?
I was just like, which one's more of a vibe?
And I have so much respect for you. I can just imagine someone just waking up and being like, I'm going to move to this country. It takes a lot.
Yeah, it took a lot. I was just like, I did some research and was like, wow. When I Googled Nairobi, I was like, this looks nice. Like, let's go to Nairobi.
Oh, wow. I respect that so much. So you come to Nairobi. What did you expect before you came here? What are some of the culture shocks that you had?
Well, first of all, there's like a level 4 security warning. So I was like, damn, like, should I be scared? You know, like that, like, you know how people say like night robbery or like, you know, it just didn't give the same like safe and peaceful that Accra gave. So I was like, seems dangerous. Let's go anyway. So I came and I was shocked at how developed it was. Because, you know, Accra is not this built.
Yeah.
Even as far as the buildings and stuff. So I was like, wow. Like, at first I hated it.
Oh, really? Why?
It was hard for me to like adjust culturally. Nairobi is just like a different energy than Accra.
Yeah, definitely. That's
It's
so true.
totally a different energy. So like all that I really knew of Africa was like Accra. So for me to get here, I was just like, oh my God, like, it's different. Yeah, it was different.
I know. Ghana and Kenya are very different.
Yeah.
So then you, in Kenya, so what do you start doing? Do you start the job and how is it?
So I landed here on July 29th of last year. Started working on August 3rd. Got fired at the middle of April, like April 14th or something. And then I'm coming up on my this year. And I'm coming up on my 1 year of being here now. So when I first got here, I literally just kind of dove into work. But I still made sure that I went out. So I feel like I've really done like a good job at exploring Nairobi. And now like I get Nairobi more than I did before.
How was it teaching in Nairobi and why were you fired?
I feel like I didn't really get like the real Kenyan teacher experience. So like when I tell people like, oh, I taught in Kenya, they think I would be teaching Kenyans. I wasn't teaching Kenyans. The school I was at was like embassy kids. So it was like really not like the experience of like teaching Kenyans. So it was cool. It was not the vibe that I was expecting. I ended up realizing that I actually love Nairobi more than my job.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Like if it wasn't, I felt like eventually my job was just like holding me back from even exploring Nairobi. Like I wanted to do so much here, and then it's like you feel like a prisoner like clocking into work, you know? So I think that we parted ways because of a situation to where I felt like I was just being like racially targeted. It was messy. I sued them. They sued me. I dropped the suit. They sued me again. Like it was just, it's so messy, but I am now looking at it as like a blessing.
Yeah, that's a positive way to look at it.
Yeah, like I'm really looking at it as a blessing because ever since then I have done so much. And YouTube is a job, you know? So I'm hoping that eventually I'm making more on YouTube than I was making there.
Talking about YouTube, guys, if you haven't subscribed to her channel, please go over to her channel and subscribe. What's the name of your channel?
Brittany in Africa.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a vibe. So I've been like they were actually trying to fly me home after I got fired.
Really?
So they fire you and then they're like,
they wanted to deport you.
Yeah, girl, don't even get me started. They've tried to revoke my permit, call immigration on me. It's like really fucked up, to be honest. But I'm still here.
Thank God you're still here.
Yeah, girl, I was like, I'm not about to leave Nairobi. Like,
you've
it's
fallen
popping.
that in love in Nairobi?
It's a vibe.
What about it?
The people, it's fun. Kenya has everything that you can imagine. Like, I always tell people, Kenya can literally be 5 vacations in one. So you can like go to the beach, go to the desert, go on safari, go to Lake like Victoria, Kisumu. Like, it's a lot of different things you could do.
Are you single, and do you see yourself dating a Kenyan guy?
I am
single.
I'm in a situationship.
With a Kenyan?
He's Tanzanian.
Ah, okay. Well, at least it's East Africa.
Yeah, he's East African, but he's basically Kenyan. He's been here for so long.
Okay.
But we're in a situationship, so it's just like day by day. I have tried to date. I think that my personality is not aligned with what Kenyan men want.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like East African men.
Seems like a vibe.
That's even me and my situationship partner's problem. Like, I think that my personality is off-putting to a lot of East African men.
Oh, okay. I don't know how. Guys, let me know. Maybe because you're American woman. Originally, you're American. And maybe, I don't know. But I think you're cool and I love your energy.
I've been told, like, oh my God, like, you're, like, too loud, or, like, you're too, like, bossy, or, like,
really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think we have Kenyans who are just like you. So I think it depends on who you meet.
It depends on the man.
Yeah, it depends on the man.
I have not met a man who appreciates a strong woman.
You see, that's the thing. You're a strong woman. You're not a bossy person.
I'm not bossy,
but guys get it wrong.
Yeah. Most of the guys who I've met, it's just like, I don't know. I love everybody, though. I'm not, like, not looking for a Kenyan man. I've dated one Kenyan guy here, and it was just, like, a weird situation. But otherwise, that I haven't even, like, dated Kenyan men.
Okay. So do you see yourself settling in Nairobi, or do you want to move back to the States?
I am going to go home at the end of this month for 2 months, and then I'm coming back to Nairobi. My ultimate goal for myself is for Nairobi to be my home base in Africa. Oh, wow. And to kind of do like what you're doing, honestly, like just travel around.
That's amazing. So maybe there are guys watching you from the US and the UK, and they're like, why would she wanna go to Kenya? Like, you live in the US, some will consider it the greatest country in the world. You live in Washington DC. Like, what's wrong with you?
I think that I have a peace in Africa that I do not have at home.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So it's like, even just like, you get tired of being the minority. Like, a lot of Kenyans don't even realize blackness. You know what I'm saying? You don't even realize you're black because you're black, but you don't feel black because everyone's black.
Yeah.
So like, there's been times where I literally feel so black, and it's draining. Yeah, it's draining. So like, that's why most African Americans are like pushing to move. And that's one thing that I try to focus on my channel, is bridging that gap, because it's like a lot of Africans want to leave. And a lot of African Americans want to come.
It's crazy.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
So it's like bridging that gap and helping each other to kind of like understand. So like, I understand my dream when people are like, oh, I want to go to the West to do this and this. I just wish that those opportunities were available here, because there's just so much here that that just has to offer out. But I know how it is, like, economically, to want better opportunities for yourself.
I understand that too. So we have so many Black Americans moving to Ghana or maybe West Africa generally compared to East Africa and Kenya. Why do you think that is the case?
We as African Americans are kind of taught from the beginning, like, okay, the Atlantic slave trade, we all come from West Africa. West African, they chained us and stole us. We don't really relate or learn about East African migration. So me being here, I've learned the Bantu tribe is also West African, but they're also here, like Luos and stuff, I think. I don't know the exact, but there was a lot of migration of tribes, period. So like, there may be the same West African tribe here in Uganda. So, we could have links historically to East Africa, but we're just so like, even in college, I was just so like beat down with like, we come from West Africa, West Africa, West Africa, return home, West Africa.
I don't like that. Okay,
That's
of course, I know it's generally, but it's just my point of view. Like, we also had slaves who were given away in Mombasa. We have a fort in Mombasa. So if you're Black American, doesn't necessarily mean you're from West Africa. You might just have your roots from Kenya. Don't just Yeah.
I can honestly say I never ever heard about like a Kenyan diaspora. Like that's just not, it's either Ghana or Nigeria even.
But they're there.
Yeah, you know that even Sierra Leone and Liberia get kind of left out of the African American return equation. Everything is really centered on Ghana and Nigeria. A lot of Kenyan tourism I think is like more white and European.
That's so true,
yeah, there's not a heavy African American presence here as much as Ghana and other places. So I'm actually researching this right now and hoping to like educate people on that on my channel, kind of like opening up East Africa to African Americans.
I love that, you know, because also East Africa has a lot to offer, and maybe our government should do its part and, you know, sell us to the rest of the world, you know. Like what the Ghanaian government did.
Yeah, I think you guys do sell yourselves pretty well because tourism is high, but focusing on Black Americans or like Black, you know, people throughout the world who have never visited Africa, like making Kenya the first stop.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that as far as like, so my mom came to visit me in Ghana.
Oh, what did she think of the place?
She loved it, but it's like certain things. My mom, I'm real like humble and chill. I'm like very easy. She's like, the toilet, you know, the toilet situation in Ghana.
Yeah.
It's not like public restrooms that much. A lot of dirt roads. Like the roads are better here, I would say, than in Accra.
And that's the thing. That's why I'm like encouraging other people, other Black Americans to also come to East Africa. East Africa is definitely more developed than West Africa.
It is.
And you'd fall in love with it, you know. Just give Kenya and East Africa a chance.
I think, but my mom came to see me in Nairobi.
Oh, what did she think?
She was like, girl, you should have bought me here first.
I thought so.
Yeah, she was like, you should have bought me here first. And I was like, I wasn't living here, Ma. And she was like, this is nice. They have better restaurants. She went to the beach. She was living her life at the beach. I took her to the beach. I took her to, I think it's called Coco Vite.
Coco Beach.
Yeah. And in Accra, and she was like, she like put her little toe in. But in Mombasa, Indiana, she was like, swimming.
I know, right?
like, yeah, she
Nairobi
was like,
and Kenya has a lot to offer as well.
Yeah.
So if you're thinking of moving to Africa, I think you should consider Kenya, because most of the time it's just West Africa, you know.
It is.
When you come to Kenya, you'll be like, oh my gosh, where has Kenya been
I think Kenya
life?
needs to do their part though, and like educating true. And like reaching out to African Americans as well though. Do you know what I'm saying?
I totally agree with you.
Like the year of return, I feel like Accra benefited so much from the year of return.
Yeah, that's so true. That is so true. So many people went to
literally it totally
I would love
changed.
to see that for Kenya.
Even prices for tourism went up after the year of return. For Accra. So I mean, it's a vibe, and the hotels and stuff aren't even as nice there. But I feel like Kenya has to get better food.
Yeah, Kenya is definitely not perfect to have, and this is what I want you to tell us next. What are some of the things you don't like about Kenya?
The food.
Is it because we don't have pepper?
Yeah, the food is not bad. So I've had to learn, and when I first got here, I was just like, oh, I can't eat anything. But I'm growing to like certain things. Like the sausage thing kind of throws me off. A lot of y'all's food, I can say, let me reword this. What I've realized is a lot of the foods that are staple Kenyan foods are also like rooted in Arabian and Indian. You know, so it's like a big mix. I can tell that there's like a mix of culture more here versus in like Accra, where it's like you have the soups and the fufu and the wache and like all these things, versus here where it's like Swahili food is of course infused with Arabic and Indian. Sausage is very European, you know. Ugali, I would say, is something that is like not native but indigenous. It's just like, it's hard for me to, what are like the indigenous Kenyan dishes? Do you get what I'm saying? I love like the street food as far as fried fish. When I first got here, it was hard for me because I lived in the Westlands. So like the things that I know now, like what's it called? Chichumburi. Yeah, like an egg and all that was kind of available in the Westlands, but like I would never see a lady frying fish in the Westlands. Now that I've moved, like, okay, I know I can go grab some fish, grab some meat, you know. That stuff wasn't available. It was really just like sausage and eggs, so I was just kind of turned off. And then I'm not really like into ugali that much. So I've had to navigate my way with Kenyan food. The coast is a lot better. Food on the coast. Nairobi's just like busy. So for me, that's just that difference. Because, you know, when you're riding around Accra, you can get at Watching. You can get Banku on the side of the street. It's like more food options.
A lot of street food options, yeah.
Yeah, so that was hard for me. That was a big change for me because I was so used to just getting all my food on the street. Versus here where it's like more snacks like on the street.
Yeah. Okay, so if anyone is watching, do you, of course there are people watching, do you want a job or do you prefer to just continue with YouTube?
I don't want a job unless it's like has to do with media, social media, YouTube, content creation, that type of thing, graphic design. Like, I'm done teaching. I do not want a teaching job because I feel like I'm just going to set myself up to get fired again. As
not everyone is born to be hired, you know, like me, I've always wanted to be my own boss.
Yeah.
So maybe we're just the same.
Yeah, I would love like media opportunities. So like I had even talked to like Capital, but they wanted me to intern for like months, and that's just like not what I'm here for. Yeah. I can't do that. So if anyone has like an idea or something, I'm just kind of like winging it. But like we talked about earlier, like I just don't think I'm made to be an employee at this time.
I totally understand.
Yeah.
So to wrap this up, what is one thing you'd love to tell people, Black Americans like you who've never been to Africa or Kenya? What is one thing you'd like to tell them?
Kenya is very welcoming. It's very diverse. There's so many different tribes. When I first got here, I was just like, I couldn't really relate to a lot of Kenyans. I felt like more in like how I could in Accra, but I had to like really take the time and learn Kenya. Like Luos are very like West African vibes as well.
So
do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it just takes like time. I think Nairobi is a very busy city. I didn't like appreciate Nairobi until I went to other cities. So when I revisited Accra, I was like, time to go back to Nairobi. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I didn't appreciate like the hustle and bustle. Kenyans are hustlers. It's a lot of money to be made out here. I think that business, if you have capital, this is a great place to invest. It's very cosmopolitan. Restaurants will do well. I think there's a lot of money to be made out here. And the Indian Ocean is something that I never really like wanted to visit when I was in the United States. But like, I even tell my sister, like, why are you going to St. Croix? Go to Zanzibar. Like, you know, go to Seychelles. Like, Africa has so much, especially East Africa. The Indian Ocean is so breathtakingly gorgeous that you don't have to like go to Mexico, Cancun, or fly past Africa to go to Thailand or Bali. Like, make these stops, really like do your research, find out what you want to do, and find out where you can do that in Africa. Well said. Yeah. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. I hope you have enjoyed this episode. I have been speaking to Brittany in Africa. Yeah. Make sure you go over to her channel and subscribe. Thank you. Until next time. Bye.